Let's move on to our fourth main topic today. And our fourth main topic today gets submitted to us by Aarion Ingram, who writes, "Hey, John, news just broke that Spider-Man 3 has been delayed and will now hit theaters on November 5th of 2021. Any thoughts? Thanks, and keep up the good work." All right, thanks a lot for that. You know, it's funny, it's unsurprising, because last week we were talking about the fact that with Venom being moved, Venom and Spider-Man 3 are both Sony films, and that Venom was now sitting just 3 weeks off from Spider-Man 3, which made us speculate, okay, what's going to happen here? Are they going to move Spider-Man 3? Are they just going to say it's okay that they're that close together? Or are they kind of saying that, hey, there might be a tie-in from Venom 2 going into Spider-Man 3? Well, a lot of people kind of assumed they would probably move it, and they have. So anyway, this comes to us from Forbes. Sony Pictures has made a number of release date changes to their upcoming films, including new dates for the Marvel Cinematic Universe's third Spider-Man movie, and, to me, actually even more importantly, the sequel to the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. I actually thought that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was better than Homecoming or Far From Home, but that's just me. Anyway, originally, the sequel to Spider-Man Far From Home, which there are currently very few details about, was scheduled to premiere on July 16th, 2021. That date has now been moved to November 5th, 2021. Meanwhile, the sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was originally slated to debut on April 8th, 2022. The new date is October 7th, 2022, and that, of course, comes to us from Forbes. Rob, I'll be honest with you. Much like the Batman situation that we looked at before when they changed the dates for The Dark Knight, to me, that wasn't an issue of, oh no, The Dark Knight needs more time. To me, I think you and I both agreed on this, that really seemed more like a Warner Brothers is shifting their entire lineup, and so Batman has to shift along with it. It didn't seem like that big of a deal. I look at this Spider-Man 3 thing, and while its original release date in 2021 is getting precariously close, I still felt they could have done it. They could have had that film ready for 2021. It all depended on when they wanted to do Uncharted, which also has Tom Holland. And we'll talk about Uncharted here in a second. So, Rob, I look at this Spider-Man situation, and to me it seems like this is probably a mixture of both. It's probably a mixture of the fact that they just are removing their whole schedule around. Plus, it probably does also indicate that they needed a little bit of breathing room to make it actually happen on time, which I think is a different situation than the Batman situation. Rob, you had a chance to take a look at this. What do you think about them moving Spider-Man at this point, and what do you point the finger at? Is it just an overall scheduling thing? Do you think they did need time because that 2021 release date was getting a bit closer? How do you see it?
Look, I see that this is just a function of they've shifted everything. I mean, they've pushed everything to do with Marvel has been pushed. I don't think there's anything weird or nefarious behind it. I don't think it has anything to do with the production of these films at all. I think this was going to happen no matter what. And unfortunately, look, John, I'm not good at waiting for movies I want to see, and I like the MCU. I'm like, I want my Eternals, kind of like I used to want my MTV. I want my Eternals, John. I don't get it. I don't get it for a while. I'm gonna have to sit back and worry if I'm gonna get hit by a bus before I see Eternals. I hope that doesn't happen, but I think that's the same with all of these movies. Everything is getting pushed because they need to be able to maximize, like you've pointed out many times on the show, they have to be able to market these movies. They have to give them enough breathing room where they can all make money. You know, there's so many good movies coming out. Can you imagine, though, if they were all thrown out in the same month? All of us would be annoyed and exhausted trying to keep up with it all. So they've just sort of pushed everything, and I think it's a good move. I think it's a smart move, and I think it alleviates the pressure on everybody. Except, of course, the studio accountants who are probably going, you know how much money we're hemorrhaging right now in interest payments? Unless they've made look, I'm sure that there's deals that have been made with banks. I mean, everybody's going to have to adjust. I mean, heck, my own landlords have been nice and accommodating, and we're still paying rent. And it's just the whole world's had to suck it up. And I think it's a good thing. In my mind, it's a good thing that this is happening.
So guys, what do you think about this? I'm sure a lot of you aren't surprised at all by this move, especially after the Venom move, but maybe you are surprised. Maybe you kind of thought maybe the Venom and Spider-Man 3 would kind of work together. What do you think about Sony's decision to move the film? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.